I was covering the topic of energy and tiredness and laziness and energy drain a lot on my channel, but it's always something else to add, and in this video I want to talk about one angle that I think not very often considered. So if you notice that you're feeling tired even without doing much, or like no amount of rest actually helps you to restore your energy. Maybe it's not always like this. Maybe you feel that in some moments you're more productive, in some moments less, in some days you can do more, some less, but you still can't figure out why in some points you feel so tired without having some obvious reasons for it. And I want to cover here the reason of the nervous system and some specific response and I would say survival strategy of our nervous system and our body that can work in a way that you feel tired without even doing much. This is the freeze response, and I noticed that not many people talk about it and not many people really know it, because we get used that more kind of common reaction of stress is like fight or flight. We know about freeze, but it's difficult to see it. It can be hiding in certain feelings, in certain behaviors, and in my case I found that not that long ago. Even before I was already working with my nervous system, I was working also with my mindset, with traumas from my childhood, with all this kind of stuff. But noticing the fact that my nervous system get used to go to the freeze response was quite a big change. And that's what I invite you here to explore, because maybe you're experiencing similar thing. How does freeze response work? When our body, like our psyche, perceives some danger, there are several ways we can respond, as fight, flight, freeze, and there's also fawn. And freeze comes when fight or flight is not possible, or not doing anything, or maybe making things worse. If you see it as a very physical thing, if you look at animals, freeze response in animals, one of the way they use it is when they're playing dead. So if they know that they will not able to run fast enough from a danger, if they're too weak to fight with someone who is stronger, then the other thing that they can do is to freeze and play dead, hoping that someone, the predator that attacks them, will lose interest and go away. We also, people have this freeze response, but we don't use it only in moments of physical danger. And how we come to this freeze response, it happens in our childhood, and usually the more kind of healthy situation, a child feels that there is some danger, he or she wants to respond, or they feel maybe attacked in some way by their parent, threatened, maybe some needs are not met, maybe they are ignored for something, maybe there is some emotional pain and no one is helping. They generally will have a fight response. It's a normal response when you try to fix the issue, solve the issue. You get this energy of anger, this fight energy, and you try to do something. Unfortunately, when you're a child, there's not much you can do, and very often children are punished and blamed for having this anger reaction. And I covered in one of my previous videos topic of anger in very details, why it's very important, how we can change the approach with anger so we can get back this energy, because behind anger is a lot of power and a lot of energy to do things. And actually, if you're not in contact with your anger, whether you're suppressing it or you're projecting it on others and you just throw it like some pieces of emotions here and there attacking people, you still lose the energy. So if this is your thing, you can also check my video about anger. I will link it here. So what happens when we can't use the anger? The other thing, if there is some danger, there's a flight. So to run away, to go away in the situation, to escape it. Also, sometimes is not possible, and also flight is not working if the problem that you need something to be done, not just to run away from danger. And when nothing of this is working, we go to freeze. Freeze is just a shut down. It's for animal, I said, it's playing dead. For people, it's just freezing your energy, your power, freezing your needs, freezing your emotion, freezing your desires. It's just you just do nothing. You just freeze. And in me, I remember I didn't realize it. I realized it later when I was thinking about some situation from my childhood. It sometimes can happen in a way that some of your parents, in my case it was more the grandmother, judging you for something, or blaming or shaming or criticizing, and you know that, I already know with all the experience that no matter what you say will not change anything. You will get only more attacked and more blamed. And I learned at some point just to kind of shut down and ignore everything that she was saying. And I remember she was making jokes about me, about the fact that I'm just disappearing, not here, not listening. And I was using it for quite a long time, this way of just kind of non-existent in this moment, ignoring. In reality, it's not the strength to ignore it like this. It's a survival strategy, was helping in the moment, was really nothing possible to do, but later we adapt it and we continue using it. How it comes to loss of energy? Because the other way we use freeze response is distraction and dissociation. We can't handle the situation, the painful emotion, there is a lot of suppressed things. And what we do, we freeze and then we distract and dissociate by, for example, watching something. TV, movies, scrolling social media, reading something all the time, to occupy mind with something, to not connect with emotional pain. In this state, you're also not doing things. We can also try to escape these emotions by food, even by alcohol, by self-medicating in different ways. There are different levels of it. I think I was using all of them during my life. It's all the way to not feel something that it's too much for you. Because to feel something that was frozen in a childhood, you need a certain resourceful state, capability of being with pain, with difficult emotions, with anger, certain capacity and resource for this difficult emotion. If there is not, we use everything possible to not do it, and we come in more and more in a state of not acting. We don't have energy in this case because we don't believe that it's possible to change something. And you may even think how it's connected to the fact that, I don't know, I can't wash the dishes or cook a meal. It's not dangerous, it's not a big desire. It's not just this, it's more subtle, and that's what's happening with your body and your nervous system. Because there is sympathetic mode and parasympathetic mode. In sympathetic is a stress response where you get energy, but you also get all this anxiety. And parasympathetic, that should be for recover, restore. It's called rest and digest, where you don't do things but you restore in your energy. Freeze is different. It can look the same in a way that you kind of you supposed to recover, but parasympathetic mode with this recovery state doesn't have stress and danger of a freeze response. Freeze response, as your nervous system works in both ways together. There is a danger, alertness, this hypervigilance of a threat, and shutdown of everything because you can't really do something. It's a huge stress for the body, it's a stress for the nervous system. It influences also the hormones and cortisol and other things in the body. So in this case, you're not doing, but you're also not resting. And that's how it works. Sometimes we can create this threat not only when there is really some big problem, big issue that we need to solve. Sometimes, what I noticed in my case, that on top of life situations that were pressuring me, I was creating a lot of pressure and a lot of freeze response by myself without realizing it. So when the survival strategy is, one of them is freeze, but the other one is try to control everything to prevent certain danger, certain pain from happening, we have in our mind this idea of that we need to control everything, prevent everything, and control ourselves. So we create certain rules how I should live. In my case, it was a lot about controlling my diet, because I was sure that the reason of my energy and all the stuff is the way I'm eating. So I was researching everything that I can find about food. I was trying all sorts of diet, and yeah, they are helping in some way, but when they are done under this pressure, under this control, you still push your body in stress and sometimes in freeze. So you have enough willpower to keep yourself going for some time, but this is survival energy. So on this survival energy, you keep yourself going, then you just collapse and you lose all your willpower and you start eating again everything and not doing anything again. Or you start exercising like 1 month or something, then they collapse again. Or you doing something for your career, for other goals in self-development, for relationship, I don't know, you put some your routine, you do it, and then it's just everything collapsing because you're doing them on survival energy, on the stress. And then what's happening then is happening freeze. So you pushing yourself in freeze response, at least I was pushing, and maybe you're doing the same if you're watching it, by constantly threatening myself that if I will not do this, this or that, then some disaster will happen. And there are all these stories, and the stories come a lot from the inner critic that we have, inner critic that usually we're absorbing from our parents or from some other adults that we have relationship with when we were kids. And when we're absorbing this inner critic, it becomes part of us, and inner critic pushes us to do more, to prevent problems, and also trying to fix us. It's always telling us what is wrong with us. And the more we pressure ourselves in the way that you need to fix this, you're not doing this, you're not achieving this, you will have these problems, that problems, what you will do if this happens. If you have this inner critic, you know all its stories. And just this self-talk pushing you in freeze sometimes. It's inside you, it's very difficult to fight it, you believe it, but then you don't have an energy. Because to have an energy, you need to have your body sometimes regularly, I would say, in recovery, in parasympathetic mode, when you actually restore your energy, and then you can do. Sometimes we can come to this and we rest and we restore, and the energy comes, and straight away we have the huge list of everything that should be done, that we lost the time, that we didn't do anything useful, and we start pressuring ourselves again. And the pressure very often comes not from the real things that you're doing that make you tired, but what is happening with your mind. So what can you do here? First thing is, of course, awareness. If you see that you can go in this freeze response, in dissociation, in shutdown, you need to see what it is. So instead of blaming yourself and judging yourself for not doing things, for being tired, for controlling everything, you need to start accepting the fact is that this is your survival strategy, and when you shut down, you need to feel safe. And that's the main thing that what I was doing the last several months, create a safe feeling inside your body and safe feeling inside your mind. And the first what to do is to change your inner dialogue, help to create more self-compassion. For healing become possible, you need to be this kind and loving adult, reparent your inner child in this situation and work with your inner critic. This is a lot about self-acceptance and self-love, and I will link here a playlist where I have different videos on this topic, and especially I have a video with an instruction for 90-day journaling to stop or reduce your inner critic that I did for myself, and in this video I shared what changes happened to me. So this you can use as a practical tool. There's also a video about self-acceptance. It's just transformational video by itself, so by watching it you can already reconnect with different state and different feeling toward yourself. The other thing that you can do, you can check my playlist about how to get energy back. I'm talking there and about dysregulated nervous system and energy drains. Another thing that can be useful for you. You may find that maybe it's not just freeze response, that may be other stuff that is happening. And the other thing that is always helping when you do some emotional work, healing work, self-development things, you need a lot of awareness, because when we act like in reactivity, kind of stimuli reactions, or on autopilot, on habit, just doing what we're always doing, without bringing awareness and attention, without understanding what's really happening here and now, why I feel like this. What did I do or think or decide that bring me to this state? The way I treat myself now, my thought process now, how do they influence the way I will feel in 1 hour, tomorrow, in 1 week? What thoughts are running me? What beliefs are running me in my life? What programs do I took from my childhood? What survival strategies? Yeah, what limiting beliefs? What unprocessed emotions I have? What rejected parts I have inside myself? It's inner conflict that I accept myself only productive, but I don't accept myself tired, like, or lazy, all these kind of things. And the other side of energy is our energy body, energy system, and we can have certain blocks and certain drains of this energy, and there is a way to restore it. If you want to go deeper in this topic, I have a book, this one, The Return from Fragmentation to Wholeness. I explain fragmentation there on all the levels, and fragmentation is one of the things that makes us losing energy, that makes us living on programs, on autopilot, in a survival mode. And I tell there how you can get back to your wholeness, to how you're supposed to be before you went through all this negative experience, before you learned to adapt, to survive, to kind of please other people, to be convenient for others, to be the good one, to find the way back to yourself. And I give there a structured 100-day program that will help you to go through this process, to increase your awareness, to find what's going on with your energy, to get your energy back, to have much more contact with yourself, your own intuition, your true desires, your values, and start living your life from a different state. The book is available on Amazon now, so if you're interested, you can check it. And thanks you a lot for watching.